kV substations located at Abuja, Lafia is strategically positioned to backfeed Abuja, the nation's capital, when the need arises.
Without this infrastructure, development will be very difficult, even if it is possible. So whatever we do for power and the railway and roads, we are doing it to make sure that we make Nigerians independent so that they mind their own businesses.
And before retiring for the day, President Buhari inaugurated the Central Bank of Nigeria branch building in Lafia.
We built this to bring Central Bank of Nigeria closer to our people, particularly as we embark on your vision on delivering on agricultural transformation of Nigeria and to Nigerians.
The project is one of the 9 new branch offices newly executed to make the nation's apex bank visibly present in all parts of the country. From Lafia, Nasarawa State, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And President Buhari is warning political leaders who swear by the holy books while taking oath of office to ensure that the trust and confidence reposed in them are neither abused nor misplaced in the execution of their mandates. The president handed down the warning during a courtesy visit to the Emir of Lafia, Justice Sidi Bagi Mohammed, as part of his official visit to Nasarawa State. Here again is Adamu Sambo with the report.
It was a warm welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari on arrival at the 200-year-old Emir's Palace in the heart of Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. Apart from the Emir of Lafia, who is the chairman of the State Council of Traditional Rulers, other graded monarchs and prominent title holders were also on hand to show solidarity. The Emir, Justice Sidi Bage, described President Buhari as a God-sent who not only salvaged but placed the country on the path to a prosperous and sustainable future. The people of Nasarawa, in particular, he said, cannot thank him enough for the unprecedented federal government presence in critical sectors of the state's economy, thereby impacting positively on their lives.
Mr. President, you are very special to us in Nasarawa State.
You have kept to your promise to Nigeria. You have delivered on your trust to this country. The power that you have given to us, look at it. This is what we are looking at today. We have never had it so good. You have taken us to the next level.
There has never been one time that I have visited Mr. President on the area of security, and he had not responded immediately, and that's one of the reasons why we continue to have the security we have in Nasarawa.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who appreciated the show of support and understanding by the people of Nasarawa, promised to make sure that in the last lap of his administration, every day counts in the delivery of public goods.
Whenever we are going to swear by the Holy Quran, we have to be very careful. We have to keep on looking left and right to make sure that we do not abuse the trust God has given us, by giving us this leadership in various steps.
The president, who takes pride in the fact that a lot has been achieved in addressing the nation's fundamental problems, said more that still needs to be done will be done consciously towards taking Nigeria to the next level. From Lafia, Nasarawa State, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
All internally displaced persons in camps across Nigeria and the neighboring countries will soon be resettled to their original homes, as both the federal and state governments are working hard to execute this plan. Vice President Emir gave the assurance when he visited the El Badawi IDPs camp and some repentant Boko Haram members in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. The Vice President also inaugurated some landmark projects by the state government as part of the state's recovery process. We'll bring you more details subsequently. The House of Representatives is asking for immediate evacuation of Nigerians from Ukraine in view of the current situation in that country. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the issue was raised as a matter of urgent public importance at today's plenary.
Requests for arrangements by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission to put a mechanism in place to ascertain the number of Nigerian citizens in Ukraine and ensure safe return of those willing to leave resonated when House members debated the situation in that country located in Eastern Europe.
If a strategic plan is not put in place to secure and provide safe passage for our citizens, they may be trapped or worse, harmed.
Sokoto State alone have over 500 students sponsored to study medicine in Ukraine.
Unequivocally, and urge the Nigerian government to very quickly, by the speed of light, react to the need of our people abroad in Ukraine or around the Russian border.
We must look for how best to evacuate our citizens who are locked up in Ukraine, especially the students.
A state of emergency has been declared. The leader of the House, the chairman of Foreign Affairs, should liaise with the Foreign Affairs Ministry today.
With all sense
and if nothing positive comes out of that meeting and it's all about red tape, or we have to do this, we have to do that, I think you should liaise with the chairman, Airpeace.
Yes.
And whatever it's going to cost the House, whatever we need to do, I think we need to leave this. You need to leave this country latest tomorrow.
House members also adopted the motion from Obin Nachidoka on the need to investigate the COVID-19 database of travelers and the motion from Abdullahi Ali Halims urging authorities to revive moribund automobile assembly plants in Nigeria.
In the 70s up to the early 90s, automobile companies like Volkswagen, Peugeot, Leyland, and Namco etc. had functional assembly plants located in different cities across the country and contributed positively to the economy.
National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, which is in charge of the vaccination database, has become a service provider for the airline business and does not have a dedicated call center for resolving COVID-19 related inquiries.
7 bills passed first reading, while 4 passed second reading. Among them, a bill to establish Federal Medical Center at Inkowa, Kano State, from House Leader Alhassan Adudugwa, and that seeking the establishment of Federal Medical Center Sabon Gidaura in Edo State, sponsored by Julius Ihomveri. In another development, the chairman of the Nigeria-Brazil Parliamentary Group met with a delegation led by that country's ambassador to Nigeria on agricultural development projects. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And still on the Russia-Ukraine crisis, the Nigerian government has reacted to military action by Russia in Ukraine. Minister of Foreign Affairs Jeffrey Onyama spoke to Foreign Desk correspondent Usman Aliyu in an exclusive interview with NTA.
We've agreed that they should ask all the Nigerians to stay at in their residence, and what we plan to do is that once the airports are open, the embassy will assist those who are ready and willing to leave the country. There are 5 airports, and so we're now planning on how to get those who want to leave to the airports nearest to where they're staying, and then helping and assisting for them to evacuate, to leave the country. The advice that we were getting was that we should not panic. The Nigerians in Ukraine should not panic. The embassy was in touch with them, telling them to take reasonable precautions, and which has been ongoing for a while. Now, the question, of course, was whether the Russians would invade. And the Russian government itself, of course, was saying that they would not invade. The Americans and the UK, of course, were saying that an invasion was imminent. So it was very, very difficult to take a definitive position with regards to advising everybody to leave. The travel advisory that came out last time I spoke to the ambassador about 2 days ago, I said to him, we have to err on the side of caution, that those who want to leave should leave. And this was issued. There were interviews with a number of Nigerian students who said that they preferred to stay, that things were calm, and that they did not feel under any immediate threat.
And to talk more on the situation in Ukraine, I'm being joined live via Zoom by Nigeria's former Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Usman Sarki. Ambassador Sarki, thanks for joining us on Network News.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spoba. Thank you for having me.
Right, with current situation and attacks being launched, there are about 7,000 Nigerian students in Ukraine who are said to be trapped. This is in addition to other Nigerians. How can the government plan for their safe evacuation, even though the airports have been closed for now?
Thank you very much. I think the immediate move the Minister of Foreign Affairs should do is to contact our embassy in Moscow to make a representation to the government of Russia that X number of Nigerians are located in such and such places in Ukraine, and that their safety should be guaranteed by the power that is now, the belligerent power that is now in the process of actually taking over Ukraine. And also, we should reach out to the Russian embassy in Abuja to immediately make a démarche, a presentation regarding the safety of Nigerians in Ukraine. And that is the first way to go. And secondly, we should also speak with the whatever remnant of government is there in Ukraine to ensure that access is actually provided to Nigerians, to the Nigerian government to evacuate its citizens. But under these circumstances, practically it will be very difficult to determine whether we will be in a position to evacuate Nigerians because airspace of Ukrainian airspace is entirely closed. Military operations are going on there. Access even by land, only maybe to exit the country, but not to make entry. So we have to watch the situation for some time.
All right. Ambassador Usman Sarki, let's consider this under international law. What does it say about other nationals who find themselves in such situations? And are there plans, for instance, some diplomatic cover to protect people?
Well, this is a very fluid and dynamic situation that is evolving and changing rapidly. It will be difficult now to invoke the niceties of international law to protect individuals. So the responsibility should rest on the belligerent power, that is Russia, to ensure that foreign nationals are not molested, attacked, or killed by their troops. And so far, the Russian government has given assurances that it's targeting only military objectives, like the territorial army of Ukraine, radar and airports and other things. But in war, you can never tell. There is no certainty. So we have to be very extra cautious and to be really monitoring the situation around the clock. So in terms of international law provision, I think, we should reach out to the International Red Cross and Red Crescent, wherever they have access.
Okay, so briefly, Ambassador, briefly, what's the fate of citizens of other countries who are trapped in Ukraine now? What's their fate generally?
Well, I think they are in the same situation, in the same boat with any other citizens. It's a very unfortunate situation, very dicey, very rapidly evolving and dangerous.
All right.
So their government will also have to make bilateral outreaches to the Russian government for the safety of their citizens.
All right. Thank you very much, Ambassador Usman Sarki. We have to leave it at this point. Thank you so much, Ambassador Osman Sarki, former Deputy Permanent Representative to the United Nations. Thank you. We take a short break now. The rest of the news continues shortly.
Niger State Judiciary wishes to announce a valedictory court session in honor of the Chief Judge of the state, Honorable Justice Aisha Lami Bawa Buhari. Program of the event, valedictory court session, date 25th of February 2022, time 10 a.m. prompt, venue I Court Complex, Minna. Day 2, valedictory dinner, date 26th of February 2022, time 7:30 p.m. Venue, Honorable Justice Idris Legbo Kutigi International Conference Center, Men Hall, Minna. May God bless you as you attend. Valedictory Committee Announcer. Attendance is strictly by invitation.
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Millions of Nigerians have received COVID-19 vaccine. I have taken my own. What about you? We have taken our own. What about you? I am strong and healthy. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? We are strong and healthy. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Go get, go get, go get, go and get your job. The hospitals, churches, and the mosques. Go and get your job. Health centers, hurry up now. Don't be late. Go and get your job. Bye-bye, Corona. Bye-bye, Corona. This message is brought to you by the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, NPHCDA. 1, 2, 3.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.
To the right. Mila, you go to the left.
Thank you for the rejections. That taught me to keep striving. Thank you for the long hours. That taught me discipline. Thank you for the knockdowns. That taught me to bounce back. And for the unexpected victories, that taught me to never give up.
Please welcome Dr. GC.
Thank you for making me who I am.
I suppose human life has more definition to it with the moments they share, the memories they keep, the striving that's got no limit, the rhythm they feel, and the occurrence they are never prepared for. Ouch. Life happens, but Samsung Care Plus has got you covered. To enjoy screen repairs for as low as 9,000 naira. Kindly visit www.samsung.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Watford will seek to do a double over the Red Devils when they travel to Old Trafford this weekend. It's Manchester United versus Watford on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu, empowered by Integral.
Thanks for staying with us. Just a quick reminder that you can follow this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, on YouTube channel NTA News Online, Twitter at NTA News Now, Facebook page NTA Network News. You can also get this on Instagram, NTA Network. Governor Nasser El-Rufai of Kaduna State says he's totally committed to investing in education to tackle insecurity challenges. Governor Rufai stated this at the weekly briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team. State House correspondent Aliu Kabir reports.
Given the scorecard of his administration within the past 7 years, Governor Nasser El-Rufai of Kaduna State, in what he tagged Kaduna State in making strides amid security challenges, has dwelled extensively on the development agenda of his administration in all aspects of endeavor. Taking into cognizance the security challenges of the state since 2015, when he assumed office, ranging from cattle rustling, armed robbery, kidnapping, communal clashes, and banditry, the governor said the state and the federal government are putting all machineries in place to address these evil acts. He added that in spite of the military interventions in volatile areas of the state through various operations such as Thunder Strikes, Operation Puff Adder, and the intervention by the response team of the DSS, there is still need for a more coordinated actions and responses involving all states in the Northwest, including Niger State, towards handling the insecurity.
So in spite of the military operations and everything, this banditry has become a business. It's an industry, and it requires major intervention to bring it down.
He described some of the challenges as insufficiency in technological advancement and lack of proper coordination, particularly among the states involved. He suggested aggressive action to be taken by all stakeholders to address the challenges once and for all.
Things are getting worse because, as I said, this thing has evolved into a business. And in our view, our approach to addressing the problem has been uncoordinated. Okay? Even amongst us governors, there were some that felt that you could make peace with these criminals. Some of us, from day one, Kaduna State's position was, the only good bandit is a dead one.
The governor also spoke on the developmental strides his administration was able to accomplish within the period under review, especially in health, education, capacity building, as well as women and social development. From the State House, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has described Unicorn Entrepreneurial Incubation Hub as a true representation of the Nigerian spirit, determined to support in building a new Nigeria. The minister stated this when he visited the Incubation Hub in Lagos. Anthony Forson reports.
Located at 362 Haban Macaulay Way, Yaba, Lagos, the Unicorn Group, a Pan-African investment organization that targets innovative ideas, startups, and early-stage businesses, provides education, training, mentorship, as well as long-term capital to entrepreneurs in the technology space. Lai Mohammed, who visited the Incubation Hub, was taken around to have a first-hand brief. Under Unicorn, there are companies that are conceived by Nigerians and homegrown. There is bookingafrica.com, which is a monetizing skills platform. Theme Anatomies that uses three-dimension technology. RxAll for authenticating fake drugs. Yashud for real estate. 6 Charge Bar. In School, the education for all. Edusco.com on its part connects parents with good schools, and Koniku, a US-based Nigerian firm that builds technology that digitizes sense of smell.
Impossible is not Nigerian. Impossible is not African. I thank you for believing in Nigeria and for putting your money where your mouth is. Bringing children into this whole ecosystem is a winner. Bringing children from different disadvantaged communities is a game changer. Seeing young Nigerians authors rising to become world beaters is inspiring.
Stakeholders of Unicon made submissions that put Nigeria and its human resources as very rich.
The story we need to start telling our young people is that they begin to understand that the world is theirs. It's not the reserve of the European, it's not the reserve of the American, it's not the reserve of the Chinese. Every young African really needs to believe the world belongs to me.
For me, it's believing in yourself and in believing in what we can do together.
Backing people like Dr. Akintoye, with the ability to carry on doing what they're doing, creating another 10 Unicon campuses around Nigeria, around different places in Nigeria. I believe that helps in a massive way.
Capacity building. It's about being curious. It's about being inquisitive. It's about not accepting the status quo. And I think that's what we need to be open to. It may have been right 40 or 50 years ago. Doesn't mean it's right now.
Unicon is for everybody. The name Unicon, we are trying to make everybody a unicorn, not just companies. Once you are black, once you are African, you are a unicorn, you are rare. Because you are evidence that history, science, and religion is one. Whether you go to the Bible, the world began from Africa. Whether you go to science, you began your archaeology. So being black, you mean a unicorn.
A latest development on the stable of Unicon is the invention of an LNG cooking stove. Indeed, ideas are born and can be made real. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Articulated vehicle drivers in Nigeria are from now on to undergo proper technical training and certification under the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework. Charles Alpha was at the public presentation of the framework by the National Board for Technical Education.
Skills, not degrees. The future of work globally. The turning point in the federal government's skills development policy, driven by the National Board for Technical Education, seeks to engage more Nigerian youths in skills development and discourage outsourcing of foreign skilled personnel operating in the local industries.
We have so many of them who have proficiency but no certification. And with this launch today, they will now go for recognition of prior learning. They will be given certificates as level 3 and SQ.
If you are talking about crashes, you are talking about obstructions, you are talking about the challenges on the highways, enforcement is just 10%. You need to put all the instrumentalities into correct perspective. And that is one of them is what MBT is doing.
The National Skills Qualification Level 3 for articulated vehicle drivers, formally presented as approved by the Federal Executive Council, provides standard operational know-how and what learner must know on the job with minimum qualification, equivalent to those obtainable globally.
The manual is going to bridge the gap that has been on in this particular area of driving.
The drivers of articulated vehicles. They are the working force of our social activities, and I want all of us to be considering drivers as professionals.
Stakeholders were optimistic. With the framework, heavy-duty drivers now have the chance to acquire certificates beyond their driver's license, which will offer them work permit in the UK. Charles Alpha, NTA News.
Well, at this point, we take you to Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, where President Buhari, on a state visit to that state, has been treated to a state banquet. The president is about addressing the gathering. Let's listen in.
Government of our country. The last time I came here, on 6th of February 2019, was to solicit for your support to vote for me, Engineer Abdullahi A. Sule, as the governor of this state and others under the political platform of All Progressive Congress with clear and genuine ideology of securing our country, an ideology that was accepted by the people of this state and indeed the country since 2015. I must say that Nasarawa State continues to remain my political laboratory because I have been following the developmental strides which the APC administration has recorded in terms of security, education, infrastructural development, as well as youth and women's empowerment. As we landed at Lafia Airport, I have reassured myself that we have a personality who is working in line with the philosophy of our great political party, APC. And I have had the privilege to commission the airport in order to open up a vista of economic activities between the state, Nigeria, and the outside world. The magnificent Lafia bus terminal, as well as the vocational and skills acquisition center, and the network of roads that I have also commissioned, will go a long way to uplift the state's economic status and thereby reduce poverty amongst our people. The commitment of the Nasarawa state government in the provision of this infrastructure is indeed complementing our efforts in that direction. The federal government projects that I commissioned today, including 330 kVA power substation and the Central Bank of Nigeria, are among the several projects the federal government has constructed in the state. A, Federal Secretariat. B, 500 units of federal housing estate. C, Universal Basic Education Commission Smart School for the North Central Zone. D, Kepi, Akwanga, Lafia, Makadi, Dual Carriageway Road, as well as E, Oweto, Abagana Bridge that links Nasarawa State with the southeastern Nigeria. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am informed that aside the state projects I commissioned here in the capital, there are Kefi Neighborhood Market and Karu Bus Terminal for me to commission tomorrow on my way out of the state. I sincerely commend the Governor for his foresight in ensuring economic growth through diversification. I know the request by the government of Nasarawa State for the takeover of the Lafia Airport, realizing the importance of its associated benefits. Let me seize the liberty of this event to commend the Governor for ensuring the sustenance of peace and harmonious cohabitation of the diverse ethnic groups in the state. The federal government has intervened in the establishment of military super camp at Kenyehu and Uduge in Toto and Nasarawa local government areas, 4 special forces in Doma local government area, police mobile training college at Ende Hills in Nasarawa Egon local government area, and Operation Wild Stroke, among others, with a view to providing adequate security to our people. I commend all security agencies in their joint security operations that dislodged the erstwhile Darul Salam sect around Toto local government area and the combat readiness of the current threats. I also wish to reassure Nigerians that we will continue to intensify our commitment towards the realization of the cardinal objectives of securing lives and property. The insurgency in the northwest and parts of north central is being tackled with full force. We shall continue to cooperate with the affected states to confront the challenges head on. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me once again express my appreciation for the warm reception since my arrival. I thank you for the courtesies and friendliness extended to me. I urge you to continue to support and work towards the success of our administration, as I assure you that we will not rest on our achievements, but will continue in our drive to secure, safeguard, and develop Nigeria. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I would like to go out of context. I would like to go out of context on one fundamental issue which we all know. On individual, group, and national aspects, the best way to enjoy living is to establish a good relationship with neighborhood. If you create a problem for your neighbor, it will end up with you. That was why when I came in 2015, I went to Chad, Niger, and the Cameroons. Because ECOWAS, the whole of ECOWAS, if you put them together, they are not up to Nigeria in terms of population and resources. So other neighbors, for example, Niger Republic, we have 1,500 kilometers of our neighborhood. Only God can effectively supervise that, especially in the terrain like that, like the desert. There we are again with Benin Republic. At some stage, I was constrained to close the borders for about a couple of years because the abduction here, the killings, and the general insurgency, I was wondering why are these criminals getting the weapons? And I discovered that other than stopping rice importation, closing the borders didn't make much impact. I had to open the borders and depend on Nigerian security to work harder to secure the country. I thank you very much for listening to me, and I assure you that, as I said, I have asked for this position. I attempted 3 times. I ended up in Supreme Court 3 times. In the last one, I came and addressed the press. I said, good day. I expected those who watch me with the press to sympathize with me. Instead, they laughed at me. Now I have come. I have full constitutional tour of the first, and I'm ending of the second term. I thank God. I thank Nigerians. I wish all of us the best of luck. Thank you very much.
President Muhammad Buhari in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital, where he is currently on a visit, speaking at a state banquet in his honor. Well, back to the rest of the news. Just before we linked up with the president, who was speaking at his state banquet, we had told you that drivers of articulated vehicles would from now on be trained and certified as having possessed the normal skills. Now, to speak more on that, we're joined live in the studio by the Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, Professor Idris Bugaji. Thanks for joining us on Network News tonight.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Right. We listened to the report about articulated vehicles, vehicle drivers being trained. What's the interest of the NBTE in articulated vehicle drivers?
Well, the NBTE has the mandate to develop curriculum and national occupational standards for every training program outside the university system. For very long, we have been working on diploma, national diploma, higher national diploma. Now we are focusing on skills, because skills is the present global currency of labor. And this articulated vehicle driver skills are a low-hanging fruit. At the moment, Nigeria, has so many truck drivers, heavy truck drivers, with a lot of capacity, but no certification. And at the moment, again, across the world, in UK, there are skill gaps in truck drivers. They need at least 5,000 as a fallout to COVID-19. Canada needs thousands of them. Other European countries require thousands of them. And if care is not taken, they will end up bringing Asians. And we see this as an opportunity for Nigerian truck drivers to be properly certified so that they can fill the gaps within Nigeria and, if possible, even beyond the borders of Nigeria.
Well, there are other skilled tradesmen and women who otherwise have no certification and they're contributing to national development. What plans do you have for those?
Well, we have a very, very pragmatic plan towards, trying to, this informal sector. We're trying to formalize the informal sector. There are a number of programs on that, welding, industrial mechatronics, other, industrial skills needed by different industries, and several others. So we are working with the various training centers. We are working with the industries to develop the national occupational standards under the Nigerian Skills Qualification Framework. And for example, if you go to Kaduna, there is Panteka. We are working on that, trying to see how skills in Panteka can be properly certified.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, Professor Idris Bugaji, Executive Secretary, National Board for Technical Education, thanks for coming. We'll leave the conversation.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's now go over to Network Center in Lagos, where Michael has more reports. Michael?
Thank you, Cyril. The federal government will no longer tolerate any form of unscrupulous act designed by some marketers in the liquefied petroleum gas industry to deny Nigerians of adequate measurement of gas. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeniyi Adebayo, was emphatic on these stance at a meeting with stakeholders in the gas subsector in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
In response to a series of complaints received concerning under-dispensing of liquefied petroleum gas to Nigerians by some erring marketers, the Weights and Measures Department of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, in compliance with Measures Act of 2004, charged members of the association to ensure that instruments used for trade are appropriate to guide against any form of sharp practices. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Adeniyi Adebayo, represented by the Director, Weights and Measures Department, Azan Tai Ejubunu, said the under-dispensing of products experienced by some marketers from various LPG depots is a major concern the ministry is deploying tactics to address.
In a situation, you find that they take their ceiling gas to the LPG sales outlet to procure gas of 12.5. By the time you look at it, they have been under-dispensed. Maybe they will only get 10.5, 2.5 or 2.8 out of it, which is a lot. And that is why government said it's not going to fold its arm and allow such thing to continue.
The interactive session provided an opportunity for key players in the gas subsector to identify grey areas impeding their operations, with a call on members of the Nigerian liquefied petroleum gas marketers not to compromise standards.
As we are growing, so we practice with the fairness. Make sure what you say to customers, they are not surcharged. You give them accurately what they pay for. Then where we buy to, we buy accurately. And Nigeria will be good for that.
While the Weights and Measures Department of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is insisting on the use of accurate measuring instruments at depot and plants, a RAT Act was read to any airing operator in the gas value chain. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
A genuine attempt at resolving the national peace question in Nigeria's multicultural, tribal, and religious environment must first acknowledge, understand, and negotiate known differences in such a way that can lead to a framework for sustainable peace. A professor of African History, Peace, and Conflict Study, University of Ibadan, Professor Isaac Olawale made this recommendation in Lagos at a colloquium marking the 70th birthday celebration of the Most Reverend Rufus Oshitelu, Primate of the Church of the Lord Worldwide. Adeni Taiwo reports.
The colloquium is the first in the list of activities lined up to mark the 70th birthday celebration of the Primate of the Church of the Lord, Aladura Worldwide, Most Reverend Rufus Okikiola Oshitelu.
To the conscience of our people.
After acknowledging the watchdog and advisory roles of the clergy in nation building, with Primate Oshitelu as a shining example, speakers at the colloquium agreed that Nigeria's attempt at sustainable development can only yield good results when there is peace, born of truth and justice.
So maybe my own panacea is that it is time we all go back to God.
The problem with politics, the problem with governance is that we do not have regard for truth.
In a paper entitled A Nation at War with Herself, The Panacea for Peace, a professor of African History, Peace and Conflict Study, University of Ibadan, Isaac Olawale says for Nigeria to profit from our diversities, government and other leaders must take genuine steps to manage them.
But the title of the lecture is saying our efforts are not genuine. That is to say, we are dishonest. In our analysis of the problem, we are dishonest in our attempt to find solution to the problem.
About 8 years older than post-independent Nigeria, Primate Oshitelu says the way forward is a return to the 1963 Republican Constitution, tinkered and refitted to meet contemporary challenges.
Let us restructure this country and let there be a healthy competition among the federating units.
Highlight of the colloquium was the presentation of scholarship award to 70 students in Lagos. Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Don't forget that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates. Time for our second break, and the news continues shortly. Please stay.
Oh, boy, I see this collab where they shoot there. Blue scatter. Guy, give me small new number now.
Romance without finance now, annoyance. Better give me bullet.
Yeah, give me the number.
Oh, yeah, jot the number down. 005.
Where the complete number?
This one so hot, like the blights are going to need juice, so just like juices.
Hey, oh, yeah, give me last numbers.
My 5 password.
41 now, you owe me.
Oh, yeah, 7650.
What's you? What's you? Smiley, hello, all right.
What's you?
Guys, your first collab was on the trend, dude.
Find your first. Choose a social data bundle that suits your style. Dial *777# Glow Unlimited.
To the right. Bila, you go to the left. Just gotta do it.
Thank you for the rejections. That taught me to keep striving. Thank you for the long hours. That taught me discipline. Thank you for the knockdowns that taught me to bounce back. And for the unexpected victories that taught me to never give up.
Please welcome Dr. Succeed.
Thank you for making me who I am.
The ever-busy ancient city of Onitsha is a commercial hub with millions of commuters seamlessly linking other states daily for business, leisure, and other purposes. To upscale its road network, the construction of a 1.6-kilometer long second Niger bridge, including a 10.3-kilometer highway furnished with other infrastructure, has been in motion by the federal government. This project will ease congestion on the existing 56-year-old Onitsha bridge and boost the economic capacity of the state as it easily connects to other parts of the country. The completion of the world-class second Niger bridge Onitsha will be one of the many proud moments of the state, its people, Nigerians, and foreign investors. Onitsha, which hosts the largest market in Africa, is geared up to boast of an impressive road network. Once again, these moments are made alive by the federal government, and it is deserving of all the applause.
Watford will seek to do a double over the Red Devils when they travel to Old Trafford this weekend. It's Manchester United versus Watford on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
And that concludes Network News tonight. Thank you for watching. But keep up the fight against rape and rapists. Join the NTA. I'm Cyril Stover. Good night.